Good morning, everyone. It's Sarah and Maximo. Welcome to our live video chat here on Facebook. And remember, every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time, we try to have a live Facebook video chat. And then we shoot it over to YouTube. I've got Maximo here because we did the Valentine's Day dog bandana this week, and he's modeling it, but a lot of you have been asking about how he's feeling, and so I thought I would go ahead and show you that he's doing really, really well. And he says hello to everybody. He's my little sweetie. He sure is. But I wanted you all to know, because I've gotten lots of emails and messages and questions about how Maximo is doing. And he really is doing well. I have to tell you, there was that one night when he was breathing really heavy. I was so scared that I was going to lose this little guy. So he's modeling our Valentine dog bandana. And I'm going to set him down. I'm going to grab Rosie. There you go, sweetie pie. Come here. She likes to sit behind me. Come here, girly girl. Come here. She is shy. So we'll get her up here. Here's Rosie. She's modeling the purple and pink one. Give mommy kisses. Alrighty, let's let them sit over on their poofs. I've got my rose-colored, oops, almost knocked my computer over. That would not be good. Well, I've got my rose-colored glasses on today because someone sent me a message this week and told me to stop being so cheerful, that life is rough, and that I see everything through rose-colored glasses. I do. I can't help it. I want everyone to be kind to each other. My shirt's rolling up on me. There we go. I want everyone to be kind to each other and to love each other, especially in our craft and crochet communities, right? I mean, what's a better unifying factor than yarn, right? Well, I'm having a little trouble seeing you, so I'm going to pop those up on top of my head. I've got a really fun video for you today, but first I want us all to clink in. I see a lot of you are already here. Let's go back down. I'm going to see if I can. I see Vivian and Nicole, Carol and Marlene, Dana, Vicky, Caitlin, Vicky, Lisa Ann, and Jennifer. Let's keep on going. Leslie, Sharon, Kimberly, Susan, Aurora, Carol, Dawn, Karen. Let's see if I missed anyone. Amberly, Teresa, Carol, Joanne. Rosie's back behind me again. That's her favorite spot. If I'm here or on my computer where I do all my patterns and stuff, she's always right behind me. She's got my back. All right, let's see. Ruby, Jennifer, Dawn, Sharon, Melissa, Mary, Esther. Well, everybody, this is the time in the video where it's time to clink in, and you can see I am all Valentined up. We're having our Valentine video this week because next week is my birthday, and I've got some fun stuff planned for next week, so be sure and come in next week. I've got a kit giveaway, and we're just going to have some fun. And another thing is I've been, I guess the word would be challenged, to tell you all 10 things you didn't know about me. So I thought next week, since it's my birthday, we'll do that as well. But I've got some other fun stuff planned, and I'm very excited about next week. But I'm also excited about today. Well, what we're going to do today is we're going to make a Valentine. And I'm going to show you some things here on my blog. And I'm going to put that blog link when we're finished with this video. I'll put the blog link in the comments. So you'll need to go back to that blog and get this. And what you'll find on my blog are some templates for some Valentines. This one says, "Will you be my Valentine?" And there are 3 different styles. And I'm going to show those to you with the other camera. Let me pop over there. Okay. Hang on, Rosie. We're scooting over. This one is just a flat Valentine. We're going to make the Valentine, add a heart and a ribbon. This one you make over to the side, and you can open it up and write something inside. And this one is the same way. Now, all three of them have the same message. Will you be my Valentine? All right, so what you need to do is go to my blog and copy, paste, and print off these templates. Now, I did mine on different colored cardstock. You can do them just on paper if you want to. You can use white. This little pink line here is because one of my ink things are messing up a little and I had to order another one. But it doesn't affect anything because I'm going to cut it out. Remember, when you're cutting them out, don't use your fabric scissors. You'll ruin them. Use some paper scissors. I'm going to set that aside. And you can cut that out like this with your paper scissors. I have a hilarious story about my husband. He's into technical stuff, speakers, computers, videos, and all that stuff. And he borrowed my fabric scissors to cut some speaker wire. I'm going to tell you, I was so mad at him. I mean, I didn't want to talk to him for a week. So what I did is I complained. And so he bought me these nice big scissors. And actually, it was a set of 2. And I also have a small pair that I keep downstairs. He felt so bad. Okay, back to our Valentines. So what you're going to need to make a Valentine like this is you're going to need, like I said, to go and copy these off. And you can make your own as well. There's plenty of free templates online. All right, you're going to need your hole punch because we're going to punch a hole just right up in the corner like that. I didn't measure it or anything. I just approximated that. You can measure if you want to. And then we're going to take a piece of ribbon and I'm going to cut off about a 12-inch piece with my fabric scissors. And we'll just feed that through the hole. And just I'm going to move these out of the way since they're in the way there. There we go. And just make a nice bow. I like to do a bunny ear bow, which is 2 loops. When I'm making something like this, I think it lays better. All right, and you can decide how big you want your bow. And you can clip your edges so they have a nice slant if you want to. All right, now we need some wool or some yarn on there. And I'm going to show you how to make this cute little heart real quick. I'm going to be attaching a red one to that, but I've got some purple yarn. And the way we're going to do that is I'm using a worsted weight number 4 yarn, and I'm going to use my H hook. And this makes about a 1 inch by 1 inch heart, okay? And depending on how tightly you stitch, it might be a little bigger or a little smaller. If you want your heart to be smaller, you can use smaller yarn and a smaller hook. But if you want it bigger, you can make bigger yarn or make it with bigger yarn and a bigger hook. It's up to you. You'll need a needle just so you can weave it in. And then the other thing you're going to need is some tape or some glue. And I'll talk to you about that in just a second. All right, so let's move these out of the way. And I'm going to show you how to make that heart. It's super simple. All right, so we'll make a slip knot. And then we'll chain 4 chains. All right, and you can see you need just a tiny bit of yarn, hardly any. We're going to begin by stitching 3 triple crochets in the 4th chain from the hook. And we're going to be stitching all of our stitches in that 4th chain. So we wrap twice. We're going to go in that 4th chain, pull up a loop. You've got 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the second 2, yarn over, and go through the third 2. Now we're going to make 2 more of those so that we have 3 triple crochets. Some people call those treble crochets. It doesn't matter. And this is forming the first little bump of our heart. Now we're going to stitch 3 double crochets right in that same chain 4. My dogs heard a noise. There's 1, 2, 3. All right, so we have a chain 3. I stitched 3 triple crochets and 3 double crochets. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to move that tail out of the way, and I'm just going to stitch 1 triple, and this is the point of our heart. Doesn't it look like an ear? That's just the side of our heart. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do what we did here in reverse. We're going to stitch 3 double crochets right in that same chain 4 that we've been working in. I was going to say chain 4 space. It's not a chain 4 space. It's just the 4th chain. There's my 3 double crochets. And now I'm going to stitch 3 triples. There's 1, 2, and also just one note, when you're doing your double wrap for your triple, don't make it too tight or you'll have a little trouble getting it off of there. Just a note. All right, here's our last triple. And then we're going to chain 3. And we're going to slip stitch right in that chain 4 hole. There we go. If you're going to sew this onto something opposed to gluing it on, you want to leave yourself a long tail so you can sew it on. All right, so I'm just going to tie that off, snug that down. There's my heart. Sometimes you end up with a little hole in there with this, and so what we'll do is we'll turn that over. We'll take our needle and we'll just stitch inside around those stitches. And we're just going to gather that little hole closed. Sometimes I get them and sometimes I don't. And sometimes it has to do with the yarn that I'm using, whether I get a little hole in there or not. But we don't want a little hole in our Valentine. All right, so I went one way, and then what I do when I get back around and that hole is closed, I'll just go the other way. Give it a little pull and tie that off. Now, this is the front of my heart. It's up to you whether you want this side or this side to be the front. I like having these little stitches, I call them braids, they're really not, to the front. Now, like I said, if you're going to sew this onto something like an applique, because you certainly can, I use this string to do that. But since I'm not going to sew this on, I am going to weave it in. And I'll just weave it back in here. Just like that, and cut it off. All right, so that's how you make the little heart. Let me move those out of the way. All right, now how do we attach the heart to our Valentine? And I'm actually going to use this red one. I didn't want to do the red as the demonstration because red is really hard to film. All right, so I want my heart right there. And I found these neat little things. They're called glue dots. You can use double-sided tape. You can use a little bit of glue, but I really like using these glue dots. All right, I don't have one on there. So what you do is there we go. You just cut off one. And like I said, you can also use double-sided tape or glue, whatever you think works great. But these hold really good. You can see I got them at Hobby Lobby for $3.99. You get 200 of them in a package, and they come in a roll, like I showed you. And they work great for these kind of projects, and they hold really well. So all you do is you decide where you want your heart. You rub it on. Oops, I pulled off 2 there, didn't I? You rub it on, and then you just gently take it off, and you can see there's a circle there. And just press your heart right on there. Okay, now another way that you can attach that, like I said, is with Elmer's glue or any kind of glue that you want. You're just going to have to wait a few minutes to let it dry. Usually I do use double-sided tape, but I really like those dots that I found, and they work really great for lots of projects with my granddaughters and my grandson, because we like to do a lot of crafts. We like to get together and be crafty. Okay, now, I like this one because it says, "Wool, you be my Valentine," because I put that on there actually, and I got the template offline. You can go online and copy off any of them that you want, or you can go on my blog and copy those off. You can do whatever you want with them. And the same thing with the little heart. My hair's sticking out. Anyway, you can do whatever you want with them. I just thought it'd be fun to make that little heart. It has lots of uses. As a matter of fact, the headband that I'm wearing, I just did a bunch of different colors. And I just stitched them together and made a braid in the back and tied it on. And I didn't want it to be red. I wanted it to be different colors. And so you can use solids, and you can use variegateds and stripes. And wouldn't it be fun to do an ombre? Start with like a dark pink or red and go lighter all the way around. I mean, it's a lot of fun to do. And the neat thing about hearts is hearts are great any time of year. Okay. Vivian says, what do you think would happen if one used wool yarn for that, washed it? Well, if you made it out of 100% wool yarn, Vivian, it would felt, and that would be really pretty. I would probably make it a little bit looser, you know, make my stitches a little bit looser so that it would have room to felt. And what felting is, and felting only works with 100% wool yarn. If it's a blend, it doesn't work. And of course, cotton and acrylics don't felt. And when I felt, a lot of people will felt in the wash machine. What I do is I just get a tub of water, put just a dab of Dawn dish soap in it, and I fill it up, and then I put what I want felted in there, and I just sort of agitate it, because the agitation motion is what felts. And make sure it's 100% wool. And then you can, another thing that I do is if I'm doing small projects, I'll put them in a nylon bag. You know, those little, it's what you used to wash your nylons in. I don't think anyone wears nylons anymore, but it's what you wash them in, or your delicates. And then I'll throw that in the dryer on a gentle cycle. And usually when I pull them out of the dryer, they're not 100% dry. And then I'll just lay them out flat on top of my dryer. I have a front load dryer, so I can lay them on top of the dryer. But you can also set them in the sun to dry. But that is a really good question, and it would be really pretty to make felted hearts for that. All righty, now, did everybody clink in? I love these glasses. I wish I could get a pair of prescription ones. I am actually going this next week to redo my glasses. I've been noticing I can't read as well as I used to. Alrighty, let's talk about what's new this week at Posh Pooch Designs. I already showed you the bandanas that the dogs are wearing. And bandanas are a nice thing to make for your pets, cats or dogs, any sizes. That pattern is completely adjustable. And it's a great, if your dogs or cats are just not into wearing the dresses and the sweaters, and you don't want to wrestle them to the ground, but you want to have something fun for that holiday. And the truth is that bandana pattern is just a basic single crochet pattern that you can increase until you want it as big as any size animal. You could make it for a horse if you wanted to. You really could. And then I just did the cross stitch heart. You can do several and make it as pretty as you want to. And it's just a lot of fun. And I tie them so that all I have to do is slide them on and off my dog's necks. I don't have to retie it every time. And it's important to keep those ties short because you don't want to get those caught in their toenails or their teeth, or in anything else for that matter. And you can leave their collars on. You can just slide it right on top. That's the other thing that's really cool. All right, so what did we make this week? Well, we did a redo of one of our videos, which is our coffee cup pot holder or hot pad. And just a reminder, when you're making hot pads, if you're going to use them to put anything hot off the stove or hot out of the oven, make sure you make it out of cotton yarn, all right? This one is made out of acrylic because I'm using them for decoration. You can still use them if you're putting something warm on them. Just keep in mind, acrylic yarn can melt and burn, and you don't want to ruin something that you've spent a lot of time making, okay? Another thing that you can do with this is you can double it up. You can make 2 of the coffee cups, and when you're doing your trim, stitch them together and then add your end, or your, I call these ears, I guess they're holders. I've always called them cup ears. I don't know why. I think my mom called them that. So anyway, This is just super fun, and it's really easy. It's basic half double crochets, and I added the flower, but you know what? You could add a heart instead, and it would be really cute. Add a couple, you know? So you can put anything on them, match your kitchen, make a little chicken, you know, applique, or make a little, I don't know, whatever's in your kitchen, strawberries or whatever, and these would be super fun. I also think that these would be super great for tea parties. If you like to have friends over for coffee or tea, you could make one for each one of your friends. You could even embroider their name on it, or make a little something that, you know, identifies with them. They can take it home and remember what a wonderful time they had at your party. So, and I love to do that. That's one of the things I really love to do, is give people something to take home that you handmade, right? And it helps them remember you. All right, I'm checking back through the comments, see if there's any more questions. My necklace. You know what? This is just something I bought at Target about probably 15 years ago. And it has a clasp so that you can wear it really long or you can wear it really short. And I love it. It's one of my favorite necklaces. Dawn says she'd love to see it on a horse. My niece, Erica, she lives in Pahrump outside of Las Vegas in Nevada. And she has a small hobby farm that she does horse therapy on. And she has 2 miniature horses and also some bigger horses. And she just opened a branch in Las Vegas itself where she does therapy on the horses for people who need horse therapy. It's really a wonderful program. And she does dress up her horses. And she does dress up a lot. She has goats and chickens and stuff. And I'm going to have to see if I can get her to get some pictures of some of those, because she does do that. And the kids love it. They absolutely love it. All right. What else did we make this week? We also did this. This is my Unbroken Hearts 12-inch square. Now, I did this about probably 6 years ago, and so we decided just to go ahead and update the pattern, make sure everything was good, and I ended up making 4 of these, and I'm going to put them together in a lap blanket because I think they're gorgeous. And it's a 12-inch square. Now, I had a lot of questions about if this was a square for our Crochet Along, and it was not. It's just an extra square. All the squares in our Crochet Along are 6-inch squares. And just so that I answer that question really well, there is a link at the top of my blog, and you can also find that link on YouTube if you go to Grandtastic 2019 Crochet Along. And there's a link underneath to a page, and it has the whole schedule of the whole year on there. And I'll add to that page, along with having a blog, where the pattern will be all written out as well with pictures. And what we're going for is the 3rd Monday of each month, we'll release the new square for the Grandtastic Crochet Along. And keep in mind, we're starting from the very beginning with the basic granny square we did in January, and we're going to work up to more complicated squares as we go. But all the squares will be 6-inch squares. That way they'll all fit together. Another question is, what if my squares are 6.5 inches or, 5.5 inches? Don't panic. You can block them to stretch them and make them fit just a smidge, or you can adjust by going up or down a hook size. All right. And if you end up making all of your squares 5.5 inches, it's totally fine. Your blanket will just be a little bit smaller. And if you end up making it 8 inches, don't panic. Your blanket will be just a little bit bigger. All right. And that's kind of what we're learning here. Make your first square, and if your square doesn't fit exactly, you can work with it a little bit until you get your gauge or your tension correct. And remember, always use that same crochet hook size, and if you can, the same crochet hook, because that will help you keep your gauge right. But because we're making them once a month, your gauge might be off a little bit, and you'll need to adjust that. So take your time. Don't get frustrated. View it as a learning opportunity. All right? Let me grab just a bit of coffee. Everyone, let's take a quick coffee break. My throat gets dry because I like to talk. All righty, let's see. I showed you that. All right, the other thing I wanted to show you as far as patterns is we did an update on our dog hood pattern. It's real simple. And just a little FYI, it also fits the American Girl doll. Is that great? Okay, now I did not make a video for this one just yet. We might squeeze it in the next couple of weeks. But if your dog's ears are cold, because that's the thing that people ask me all the time. All of my hats, the ears are open because dogs like to have their ears out. The ears are very important to dogs. And so we made this one. It's just a real simple, and it is a free pattern on my blog. You can find that on Ravelry. I wanted to show you that real quick. All right, let's talk yarn and supplies. I went to Hobby Lobby this week because I was looking for a denim color yarn, and I did pick up some. You can see some right back over there. I picked up 3 rolls of denim. I want to make a bag with that. But while I was there, I found a couple of neat things. The first thing I found was this. This is the new Pompadoodle from Red Heart. And I have a couple of the old skeins of Pompadoodle, and the pom-poms are not this big. And I'm so excited about making something fun with this. I don't want to make a traditional pattern, so don't be looking for something traditional with this. But I have something fun I really do want to make with this. And so that'll be coming up. I bought it in these great bright colors. And I love that it has this pop of black in there. I love bright colors with a pop of black. I just think it's a great color combination. I found that. And the other thing I found was this new ZZ twist. And it's very interesting because it says that it's a number 4. But it's really quite thin. And let me show you the difference. Here's this purple that we worked with today. And see how that looks different? Look at how thin this looks opposed to this one here that's a little bit thicker. And they're both considered number 4s. And that's one thing I want to talk about next couple of weeks is the weight of the yarn, not the weight in ounces, but the weight as far as the thickness. Because the scale, you know, goes from like 00 all the way up to 8 now. And so there are so many different thicknesses. And within those thicknesses, there's a little bit of what I call bounce room. Because like this one's a number 4, but that one, that purple one I showed you, was also a number 4, and they looked completely different. And so I'm going to be doing a update on this one and letting you know what I think about it, and I got a project in mind for it. And it is a really soft, it almost feels like nylon to me. Let me see what it's made out of. It is acrylic, but let me see if it's 100% acrylic. Let's see. It has 3.5. It does say it's 100% acrylic yarn. And I tell you, it feels more like nylon. Let me pop off these glasses. But it feels more like nylon. And I've got a project I want to make with this as well. So, the other fun thing that I found when I was at Hobby Lobby, and you need to go there and go over to their scrapbooking department, is they have all of their buttons that were $2.99, not all of them, a bunch of them, that were $2.99 on sale for 74 cents. I got these sparkly bones, I bought regular dog bones, and I bought some dogs. I was hoping they would have some of the Christmas buttons that we liked using for the snow globes, but I didn't see any of them on clearance. But they have a whole bunch of different stuff. And I just grabbed these because these, I just thought they were fun. Sparkly dog bones, dog bone buttons, and dogs. Look at the eyes on those. Are those not the cutest thing? So if you get a chance to go to your nearby Hobby Lobby, this is the time of year that they're doing a lot of change outs. And so you're going to find a lot of really great clearance. Michael's does the same thing. Theirs is a little bit later though. They do theirs like, I want to say 1st of March maybe, but I can't remember. And Joann's does the same thing. Every spring and every fall, the crafting stores do like their clearance. They get rid of the stuff from winter in the spring, and then in the fall they get rid of the stuff from the summer, and so you can get a lot of great bargains. Alrighty, so that's what happened this week at Posh Pooch Designs. I'm gonna tell you, it was a busy, crazy week, and next week we got a lot of fun stuff planned. And don't forget, next Tuesday is my virtual, or my live video birthday party. My granddaughter, Zoe, her mom bakes beautiful cakes, and she's coming over next Tuesday, and she said she's going to give me a lesson on how to make a beautiful and fun and yummy birthday cake. So I'm looking forward to that. My favorite is red velvet, but she loves to do rainbow cakes with all different colors, so I have a feeling we might be doing something like that. All right, so just to let you know a little tiny bit, I have a fun giveaway for next week. It is a kit including yarn and tools. And also I'm going to do some pattern giveaways, and I'm trying to get some of my other friends who are designers to contribute. We'll see how that goes. But we're going to have a blast. All right. Well, thank you everyone for being with me today. It was loads of fun. I love reading your comments and your questions. Before I go, let me see if there's any other questions that I missed. Let's see. I love your yarn stuff. I know it's my yarn is growing and growing. All righty, let's see. I'm just clicking through, reading real quick. All right. Julie says, I need to try the red velvet Kit Kat. I have to tell you, I'm not a fan of Kit Kats. There's something about that wafer cookie in there that just kind of, I don't know why it grosses me out. Now, if they come out with a red velvet Twix, I'm going to try that, okay? I did see that they have red velvet Oreos, so I'm hoping I can get some of those. The thing is, I'm kind of having to watch my sugar now, so I got to be careful on that matter. All right, well, I think we answered all the questions today. And remember, oh, Amanda says, do I have fancy pants for dogs in heat? Yes, I do. I have a video that we did a long time ago, and then I also have a free pattern for a diaper that even has a little tail hole that you can make. You can look for it on YouTube, or you can find it in my Ravelry shop. I do have one of those. And I think it has 3 sizes included. I can't remember, but it is a free pattern. All right, I think we've got all the questions, and I'm going to let you guys go with one last clink in. And remember, you don't have to be alone on Valentine's Day. Go to your local pet rescue. You can volunteer sometimes. Sometimes they love people that will come in and help clean cages and walk dogs and play with cats. Or you can pick up a rescue pet of your own, so you'll have someone to be with on Valentine's Day. Don't be alone. Don't hate Valentine's Day. Spend it with your favorite pet. We'll see you next week.